This is Why People Don't Do Their Jobs, Episode 20. They deliberately don't do their jobs. Sometimes people deliberately don't do their jobs. When they do this, it's called a violation. And there are two main kinds of violations. The first kind, management knows about it, quite often caused it, but doesn't do anything about it. Here's an example. The Space Shuttle Columbia disaster happened in 2003. To recap what happened, people didn't do their jobs. Foam pieces broke off of the fuel tanks and damaged the heat shield. They tried to land and blew up. Here's the standard operating procedure for the Space Shuttle. And it basically says, don't let pieces of foam hit the ship. Instead, foam pieces hit the ship basically 100% of the time, an average of 143 times per launch. Management and everybody else knew about the situation, but was allowed to go on despite being forbidden in the SOP. It was a disaster. People didn't do their jobs. Now we can add to our definition of entrenched mediocrity. An obvious beneficial change is resisted, often for non-technical reasons. The organization accepts mediocrity to avoid the cost of change, and a widely known problem is allowed to continue despite obvious risk. When people deliberately don't do their job and management knows about it and condones it, the source of the problem is management. As a side note, after all of this, did anybody get fired? Well, there's a big investigation. A lot of fingers were pointed at her, who didn't do her job. This was blamed on the NASA culture. It worked fine before now. No one is allowed to speak up. No one could be found with the authority to pull the plug. There was a bypass of the normal chain of command, and there was a squashing of the investigation. In short, nobody got fired. There's much more to be said about this topic. This has been a presentation of iso-help.com. And here's my bibliography. Nobody can make this stuff up.